Good morning, YouTube. This is BlakeBarbieDoll. I hope that everybody had a happy Easter. I did. I ate a lot, so now I'm going to have to step up and add some miles to my jogging in the evening to work up all that strawberry cake that I had. But I hope all of you had a holiday that was just as festive as mine. I got together with some girlfriends from high school where I attended 7 years ago. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, some friends and I got together and we had a marvelous time. Of course, we were reminiscing and asking how everybody was doing and swapping stories and just catching up on everything that was going on. And we got on the topic of guys that we used to like and used to hate and used to be friends with. And I want to share something with you all. When I was in high school, there was a handsome young man. He was absolutely brilliant. He was African American, and he was a standout. He was both academically and athletically inclined. He excelled. He wasn't valedictorian, he wasn't salutatorian, but he was an honor graduate. I do remember that, and he earned several scholarships to several reputable state schools. I think he ended up going to a school in either Alabama or Kentucky. But anyway, over the weekend we were talking about the guys, like I told you, and his name, like that of many other guys he went to school with, his name came up. And I was shocked and floored when one of my girlfriends said that he was on crack, that he had dropped out of school, he had never finished, and he's now a full-time drug addict. I was absolutely blown away. I fully expected for her to say that he was a doctor, a lawyer, an engineer, a dentist, or something like that. But I want to frame why this is such a tragedy before I continue. This guy was not some young guy who had a lot of disadvantages and a lot of setbacks. He was not raised in the inner city. He had every advantage possible. I knew his mother, I knew his father. They were both very respectable. He was smart, he came from a great home, and he knew what his gifts were. He applied himself in school and he stood out. He seemed to have every advantage and every opportunity and every reason in the world to succeed and excel. So I don't understand how he became yet another casualty in this war on drugs that's going on, especially in the black community. I've stated before that I think that drugs have been more devastating to the black community than slavery itself. Some people on this forum tried to challenge me, but nobody was effective. Nobody could talk me down, and nobody could convince me or themselves that I was wrong in my position or in that statement. Drugs have been more devastating to the black community than slavery. They are, really, in many respects, they are a form of slavery, a form of spiritual slavery. Drugs only lead people to do depraved things. They only lead people to engage in depraved acts, to commit crimes, and to do things that are completely off limits or would be off limits if they were sober. I have never heard about a person who did drugs, who went out and did charity work, or who got high and who went out and tried to help some little old lady carry her groceries. They only lead people to do bad things. They only lead people to engage in behaviors that if they had never touched drugs, were never high, they wouldn't even consider doing. Drugs lead people to serve a different master, to act in ways that a lot of people who are very spiritual would call demonic, and people who are secular would call evil. A couple of my girlfriends were talking about how sorry they felt for him and just lamenting about what a waste of a life it was, and they were just so upset. One of my girlfriends even started tearing up like she was about to cry. I mean, they felt sorry for him, and I couldn't understand why. I'm not going to pretend like I felt sorry for him or like I feel sorry for any drug abuser or even former abusers. I don't feel sorry for them. I have little to no patience for drug abusers. Even if they have begun to take steps or to take the initiative to get clean, my sentiments are they never should have gotten dirty. There's no excuse in my opinion at all, for a reasonably intelligent person to even try drugs. With all we know about drugs, all we have read and heard and seen, if you've never watched a television, if you've never picked up a newspaper, if you are African American, or even if you're not African American, if you're any other race and you're in this country, you've seen somebody, you know somebody, or you've heard about somebody who has been touched or devastated by somebody they know, somebody that they know, and their abuse, their drug abuse. So we all know that it's only going to lead you to a road of devastation. There are no drug abuse success stories. It's a no-win game. They are not going to lead you to become a better person. The most that you can do, or the most that you can hope for if you've touched drugs, is to try to stay clean. Try to get off the drugs and try to stay clean. And from what I've read and what I know about drugs, that is a battle that people have to take on for the rest of their lives. I'm not a doctor, but it's my understanding that certain drugs, the highly addictive drugs, they change your biological structure. They change your physiological makeup, which is the main reason why it's so difficult for people to get off of them, to stay off of them, and to remain clean. It's my understanding that they're not just chasing a high, but they are catering to a physical change. I don't know. I remember reading a study years ago, and the study was looking at the devastating effects of drug abusers on unborn children, and they were kind of following the mothers and the mothers' drug abuse. And the study went over to watch these children over a period of time, and at the end of the study, they decided they were going to start looking at the impact that was the toll that was being taken on unborn babies if the father had been a drug abuser. And I think some people are stupid enough to believe that, oh, you're really only hurting a child if the mother abused drugs when she was carrying. But if it changes your biological makeup in any way, shape, or form, then you have to wonder, even after you stay off of them or get clean for long periods of time, is it still going to have some type of impact on your child? I mean, it's just best not to use drugs, not to even consider using them. Don't even use the soft stuff like marijuana, and don't even get drunk, because those are gateway drugs to harder drugs. And if anybody says that they're not gateway drugs, they are deluding themselves, because the few people that I do know who were drug abusers, they all told me that they were either high on marijuana or drunk on alcohol when they made the mistake of trying something harder that was highly addictive. With regards to drugs, you just can't use them. You can't sell them. You can't benefit from the sale of them. You just have to completely shun drugs and drug use in every way, shape, or form. That's BlakeBarbieDoll. Those are my sentiments, and I'm out.